Hey guys, it's the Drabble Geek here, and welcome back to Ace Attorney, where we are finishing Turnabout Memories, which is actually a case where Phoenix is our defendant, which is quite interesting. And now we have to save him from a murder charge. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness. This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. Prosecution calls Miss Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand. And I'm suspecting that she's the murderer, and she might have murdered two people, actually. What's with the stiff silence? In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity, which means I'm the only one who's not falling for it. I can't believe he actually said that. Oh, now then, witness. Could you please state your full name? Don't worry, sweetie. There's no need to be nervous. If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size. And I will bash them with my gavel. I love how they look straight at me when they say that, because they know you. Thank you for calming my nerves. You're all so nice. I almost feel right at home. Not at all. It was nothing. If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? My name is Delilah Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine. No, the honor is all mine. Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. That was unnecessary, Mia, and... Okay. Sir? Is there something I can help you with? Just go on and say whatever is on your mind. I'm sure that there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone, I just know it. Yes, I can see why you'd say that. She's going to be a tough witness, alright. Only took her 12 seconds to wrap them around her little finger. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please. At least finally we're getting on to it. I had been planning to go back to Finney's place after class was over. Finney and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. Then suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Finney noticed I was there. I went to go and find some other students, and they called the authorities. So Phoenix didn't hit him? I don't know what to say. According to you, Miss Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong. Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. Nevertheless, it's my job to discover the truth. Please tell us the truth. But I would never. That's more than enough, witness. I can't allow this to continue. What do you mean by that? Please just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. Tee-hee, you haven't changed a bit. Mia Fey. What's this? So you two are acquainted? Yes, we've met before. Once. Then can I actually be on this case? In any case, Miss Fey, the floor is all yours. It's good to see you again, Madam Fey. Madam? I'm no one's grandma yet, girlie. Okay, let's just go ahead and save it here, and then go through everything. Now, unless I'm mistaken, Mr. Wright is in the art department. If that's the case, then what were you doing by the pharmacology building? Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese Sinryu poetry? I don't think I pronounced that correctly. Oh ho ho. How wonderful. It's humorous. Yes, this is that humorous yet satirical style of haiku, yes? Nothing left to do. When a man reaches this age, sleep is his best friend. That's supposed to be poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis. For me to get to the art department, I have to walk through that back area. Yes, I see. That makes sense. When I want to enter the courthouse, I always walk through the front doors. I mean, you could also walk through the back doors. I'm sure you could do that. How else would you enter? Teleportation? The back door, Mia. Finny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. So who is this Dougie person? Oh, I'm sorry, Doug Swallow. We were dating until 8 months ago. So what were Dougie, Mr. Swallow and Mr. Wright talking about anyway? How can you be so mean? I asked you what they were talking about. I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined. That's right, Miss Faye. Don't drag the witness down to your level. Why am I being demonized here? Please, go on. What did you see next? You could have just said, I was too far away to hear. Ta-da. Then suddenly, Dougie collapsed. Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right? I was watching the whole time. Feeney never did a thing to Dougie. I press her for no good reason. I just know the judge will get angry at me. Wait, do I have evidence? Time of death. Fell on the present and the news. I actually never read this. Very little information is being disclosed at this time, since the victim of yesterday's incident in the district courthouse cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. However, police are questioning the 19-year-old female college student who was sitting with the victim. Yeah, and let me guess, Delilah is 19? 20. She could have turned 20 within the meantime. So what should I do about her testimony just now? Cause of death, fatal shock. The watch. Well, we know that, does it say anywhere that he was pushed other than... It has to be Phoenix's testimony, right? People's lives are not becoming Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never. Miss Faye, I will not allow you to badger this witness. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. That is, she has no supporting... I think I do. Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job. Now then, Miss Hawthorne. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. That has already been shown that Mr. Wright did, in fact, push the victim. What? There's no need to try to cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth. There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything that you saw. Yes, Your Honor. I will. If you don't mind, I like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Actually, I did see the moment he pushed Dougie. And what happened? You didn't see it? Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground. And at that time, there was only 2 of them at the scene. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow. Yes, that's right. It didn't look like they were fighting, and I didn't hear anything unusual either. So then, what did it look like they were doing to you? I thought they were having a nice, friendly afternoon conversation. Oh, give me a break. That's why I wasn't watching them all that closely. Did you not notice anything out of the ordinary at all? No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge. Oh, I like the sound of that, Mr. Judge. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. I went to find other students. I didn't hear anything. There was a loud snap, wasn't there? You say you didn't hear anything unusual? Is that correct? Yes, that's why I was very relaxed, looking at the scenery around me. That's nice, but I find that just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright, and he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well? Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable. But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. Yeah, if I hear something snapping, I'm definitely going to check what it is. May I have a moment to answer? But by all means. I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on, and I was listening to music at the time. Headphones? You mean that both your ears were covered? The rain was just beginning to let up, and it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder, so I put my headphones on to block it out. He. Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all. Wait a second, Mia, that testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this case. He could have been struck by lightning. Because there was lightning, right? Your Honor, there is a problem with the witness's testimony. What do you mean? Didn't you notice she said there was lightning, correct? Yes, what about it? Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere, am I right? Now's not the time for a science lesson, Miss Faye. Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? Oh. Wait, why was she upset about that? I must admit that thought hadn't occurred to me. Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered, but that very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt. Also, why was Delilah upset that I said that? That's very interesting. I mean, I think she's actually the one guilty, but of something. But that's interesting, since she's supposedly defending Phoenix. It appears the defense may be onto something. Could it be that death was actually accidental? Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now if you... He. Great. I'm heard that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Faye. Huh? I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on the day at that location. What? What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case. Evidence, Mr. Payne? Well, what is this evidence? This affidavit. Who was this affidavit from? The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Allow me to read out to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day. Was it a blackout? All the lab's equipment's run on high voltage, Your Honor. So you're saying the equipment lost power because... Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. Power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m., which fits with the time of death listed in the autopsy report. Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future. I see. Apparently the cables had become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break. Wait, if it was at 2:55, his watch, why does the watch stop after 3? However, there's one thing that troubles me. The cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct? Well, I suppose you could say that. Miss Faye? Do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable? Your Honor? I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Okay, yeah. So it was after 3 when his watch broke. No, he fell on the umbrella. That does make sense. Who or what? I think it was the umbrella. That's the only thing I come up with. This is it. This is why the cable snapped. Well, Your Honor, I believe that the only thing that has snapped is the mind of the defense. That was one of your best lines yet, Your Honor. What? Please, Your Honor, am I, like, just missing something? Because that made perfect sense to me. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to snap? Are we saying it would have had to? Like, I think it was her, but I don't think the evidence necessarily... Yeah, I was like... Yeah, I was about to say it's like... I don't think the evidence necessitates that. What caused the cable to break? What is it? Phoenix pushing him? Are we saying it was Phoenix? Yeah, Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Wright's testimony. The defendant's testimony? He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct? Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that the lab equipment lost power at 2:55 p.m., which fits right with Mr. Wright's timeline? In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion, and it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted. No it wasn't. I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne. What's that supposed to mean? Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? That's the electrical pole. That's right, the victim banged into that pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break. Well that makes sense. And then the victim was electrocuted. The time doesn't match it. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by the severed cable in the foreground here. In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim. Order in the court. The lamentation of my enemy. How I have longed to hear them. It is true, the defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant could have, Mr. Judge, sir, may I say something? The Madam Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them. What the? I don't trust you one bit, girlie. Please, just once more. May I please testify one last time? Please, Mr. Judge. Oh my gosh, is he falling for it? He is. Of course it's alright. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony. This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors. Is she? I don't think so. The truth is, Finny pushed him twice. First time was into the electrical pole that you said you didn't see, but you're claiming that now. Okay. That's when the electrical cable broke. Then Dougie tried his best to run away from him, but Finny caught up and crashed into him from behind. The cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted. It all occurred in less than a minute. That's impossible given the time the clock shows. The victim got up and tried to run away, and that's when the defendant pushed him for the second time. I'm sorry, Finny, but I just have to tell the truth. But you're not. Am I doing the right thing? Am I, Mr. Judge? Of course you are, my dear. As painful as it may seem, you are. Now then, Miss Fay, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Her entire thing. So first you don't see him push, and then suddenly you see him push twice. Right. I'm sorry, but that just makes absolutely no sense. Miss Hawthorne, previously in your testimony you said the following. Actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. I know. I'm sorry. I wanted to protect Finny. So that's why you basically lied to the court? I was a bad girl, I know. Mr. Judge? Yes? Would you please forgive little old me? Of course you won't. What you did is called perjury. Oh, come now. It's just a little white lie. Well, forget it this time, but please be more careful from now on, alright? Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Judge. Not at all. Ho ho ho. The judge had better be more careful himself. Dark Alley is friendlier than that girl. The first time was into electrical pole. That's when the cable broke. You're saying you actually saw the victim get pushed into the electrical pole? I know he doesn't like it, but Finny can be a bit of an imp when he wants to be. Oh, really? But I never imagined that he would cause an electrical cable to break. Finny is really scary when he gets mad. Yes, he sounds like a very dangerous individual indeed. Wait. Okay, I don't have more evidence. Thought there might have been. So let me get this straight. You were happily listening to music on your headphones while you watched this scene unfold? Exactly. Miss Fay, I'll have to ask you to stop badgering the witness. I wasn't happy. I was so scared I couldn't even move. All I could do was stand there and cheer them on. What? cheer them on. What do you mean by that? Well, I wish the best for them both, and that they would give the fight their all. That's very sweet of you to be so supportive. And what happened after that? But Fanny caught up and crashed into him from behind. That doesn't sound quite right. There were handprints found on the chest of the victim's leather jacket. Mr. Payne, were there also prints on the back of his leather jacket? Well, no there weren't. Madam Faye, may I suggest that you listen more carefully? I said that he crashed into him from behind, right? May Finney wouldn't leave any prints behind in that case, would he? Cable snapping and Dougie being electrocuted all occurred in less than a minute. Did you actually witness the moment the victim was electrocuted? I'm sorry, I didn't actually see it. I turned my eyes away. That's understandable. Yes, indeed, it would have been a horrific sight for anyone to behold. Don't figure out the contradiction. There is, it's the timing. First was in the electrical pole, a second. Then the cable snapped. It all cured in less than a minute. Yeah. That's enough, witness. I'm afraid I don't understand. You will in a minute. Could you please take a look at this picture? Oh, that medicine. That's the one Finney likes to take for his cold. It's not the medicine I want you to look at. It's the wristwatch. It stopped at the precise time the victim was electrocuted. In other words, 3:05 p.m. Yes, and your point is, Miss Faye? My point is this. What time was it when the lab suffered that power outage due to the cable snapping? Well, according to the student's testimony, the answer is clear. It was 2:55 p.m. Would you care to explain to the court, Miss Delilah Hawthorne, what exactly happened during this 10-minute interval? The defense proposes that it was during this interval that the real murderer killed Mr. Duck Swallow. Order in the court. This is nonsense. The real murderer? Even you can't deny that the time between the cable breaking and the electrocution are completely unaccounted for. Then who was it? Who else could have done it? The one witness. There's only one person who could have murdered Mr. Swallow. Only after my client had left the scene was there a window of opportunity for the real killer. Miss Faye, is the defense ready to indict someone as this real killer? It's finally time. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Yes, Your Honor, we are ready. Very well, but remember, if you accuse the wrong person, you will be penalized. Think very carefully before you speak, Miss Faye. Now then, Miss Faye, let's have it. Who is the real killer? Delilah. It could only have been you, Delilah Hawthorne. I'm surprised the butterflies hasn't died, actually. The defense is grasping at straws. 10 minutes passed between the time the cable broke and the time of the electrocution. What exactly were you doing that whole time, Miss Hawthorne? Were you really listening to some music while cheering them both on as they fought? I find it hard to believe that you didn't lift a finger to stop the men dearest to you. Order. Miss Faye? What? I mean, why? That is to say... Miss Hawthorne, I believe you did witness the two men fighting on that day. However, after Mr. Wright pushed the victim and subsequently left the scene, it was you who pushed Mr. Swallow to his death by your very own hands. Oh, here come the butterflies. How can you say something so mean, Madam Faye? I didn't do anything. Too bad. Miss Faye, this is a very serious charge you are. What is he doing? Your Honor, but please, I have something I want to say. Leave. What is it? Please strike everything the defense has said just now from the record. What the? Are you daft? You're totally wrong, Miss Faye. Dolly, she couldn't do something like that. Except she did. Mr. Wright, get back in your seat. Bailiff, grab that man. Leave my Dolly alone. Achoo, achoo. Yeah, sorry, dude, but that boy got himself in way over his head. Oh, Mr. Grossberg, you're back. Seems I've arrived just in the nick of time. I found the police report on that incident in your newspaper clipping. Thank you so much. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Can I read it? Location, District Courthouse Cafeteria. Date time, August 27th, 4 p.m. Victim, Diego Armando, age 28. Occupation, lawyer. Suspect, Delilah Hawthorne, age 19. Armando ingested poison while interviewing the suspect regarding another case. Traces of poison were found in the victim's coffee cup. No poison was found in the vicinity or on the suspect's person. It's unclear how the poison entered the victim's coffee cup. The necklace. There we go. The necklace is how she did that. You'd better take a good look at it. It, details how you came to lose your boyfriend. Whoa, he was my boyfriend? What? Now then, the defense has made a very serious accusation. Mr. Payne, what do you have to say about this? Well, really, Your Honor, May I interrupt you for just a moment, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't you worry, my dear. I have the situation well in hand. Go right ahead. Madam Faye, are you seriously accusing me of killing my sweet Dougie? Yes, I am. Not only am I saying that you murdered Doug Swallow, but you also tried to pin the whole thing on your current lover, Phoenix Wright. I told you that you should let me handle this. Sorry. Please go ahead. How can you say that? I'm absolutely devastated to my dear Finny. The notion that I would try to frame him is ludicrous. This is all just too much for poor little me to bear. I believe the girl is trying to ask what on earth her motive would be. The answer to that lies somewhere in this police record. It must. 8 months ago, an incident occurred in the basement cafeteria of this building. And then that same day, the two of them accidentally meet. Your Honor, the defense requests further testimony from Miss Delilah Hawthorne. Further testimony? What about? About the events of the day when she first met the defendant, Mr. Phoenix Wright? What could that possibly have to do with this case? The witness claims that she has no reason to frame the defendant. Am I correct? Well, I have evidence that suggests she, in fact, had a very good reason. Very well, then. The court grants the defense's request. Young lady, would you mind staying on for just a little longer? Of course not, Mr. Judge. Get ready for the battle of your life, Delilah Hawthorne. Okay. I first met darling Finny 8 months ago. It was like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The moment our eyes met, my heart skipped a beat. We've been going out ever since that fateful day. We're so lovey-wovey, we literally make people sick. It's just jealousy, I think. Be quiet, Phoenix. Mr. Wright, don't do that again. You do that again, and you will be held in contempt of court. And now we enter the final act of our little drama. As we used to say in the days of my youth, go get her. Alright, let me go ahead and save. I hope the first question is, what were you doing here? That has to be the first question. So until that time you had been dating Doug Swallow? Yes, I'm a real fool, I know. Letting my emotions change so quickly. I'm ashamed of myself. No, not at all. Look at me. I'm infamous for changing my mind. My critics have even taken to calling me Judge Fickle. I believe it. Maybe you should look for a different line of work. Despite that, however, he always hands down the correct verdict. That's why some people also call him the Great Judge Genie. It's like we were destined to meet in this very courthouse's basement reading room. The courthouse reading room? That's a strange place to meet the love of your life. That's not true, Madam Faye. After all, Finny was not only an art student, but he was also planning on becoming a lawyer. That explains why he was there, not why you were there. I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about you, Miss Hawthorne. What was a literature student like you doing in a courthouse reading room? This line of questioning is a waste of time. It has nothing to do with their murder case. Miss Faye, I'm warning you, this has nothing to do with Mr. Swallow's case. You have to remember the judge is on Delilah's side, but better tread carefully. Keep pressing. Your Honor, if you'll allow me some latitude, I think I can establish relevance. Please ask her to continue on with her testimony. Very well. Young lady, I got a simple question for you. What were you doing downstairs in the courthouse reading room? If it pleases your Honor, the answer is simply this. I had come to this courthouse to do some research for a paper I was writing. No, you weren't. I should have gone the other way. Miss Hawthorne, you weren't here because of your research paper, were you? Didn't you actually come here with a much more important reason? What is the meaning of that cocky smile on your face, Miss Faye? 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse, there was another tragedy. Another tragedy? Do you mean the incident in which an attorney was poisoned? The name of the suspect in that incident is listed here in this report, and that name is Delilah Hawthorne. What? Delilah Hawthorne? Yes, the sweetie pie of everyone's eye, Miss Delilah Hawthorne. She was the prime suspect in a criminal case just 8 months ago. Order, order, order. This is unbelievable. It's true then. The loveliest rose can hide the cruelest thorn. Miss Faye, that's not fair. You can't slander my witness with an unsolved case. Winston Payne, will not allow it. Mr. Prosecutor, I believe I was speaking. But pardon me. Go right ahead. It's true about that 8 months ago. Please express some interest in me. Express some interest, huh? Mr. Judge, sir, I know I'm under oath, so I'll tell you the absolute truth. I did not commit the crime that occurred during that incident 8 months ago. I see. Okay, I've tied the two crimes together. Now I just gotta stay on the offensive. Well done, Mia. Ooh, you really lit a fire in my heart. And my buttocks. Can we stop talking about your hemorrhoids? Oh, no, we're still going to talk about your hemorrhoids, okay. I can hardly tell which is more inflamed, my spirit or my hemorrhoids. Great. I met the lawyer who was poisoned to discuss something in the cafeteria that day. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. From what I heard, it was a liquid poison that is lethal at just 2 teaspoons. The case does not say that. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. So you see, I'm innocent. I don't even know where to get a poison like that. How do you know so much information about the poison? So that's what happened here 8 months ago. However, as you heard from the witness's testimony, she had nothing to do with it. I think the defense is just out of tricks. Except she was dating a pharmacology student who could have easily have created it. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Payne, but I'm afraid the defense has many more tricks up its sleeve today. And I'm sure to show them to you before the end of this cross-examination. What though? Why does the defense suddenly feel stronger? Aha, Mia, you're glowing with a true lawyer's aura, my dear. That proud posture and self-confidence, absolutely smashing. Let's see. And also, let's go ahead and save this. Met with the cafeteria. What were you talking about with the defense attorney? Well, I'm sorry, but that's confidential. According to the report, you were being interviewed regarding another case. The lawyer that was killed. He said he wanted to talk about an incident I was caught up in when I was younger. Why don't you tell us all what that incident was? That has absolutely nothing to do with this case. Objection sustained. The defense's question is stricken from the record. You get involved in a lot of incidents, don't you, Miss Hawthorne? Well, I guess I was just born under a bad sign. Don't worry, Dolly, I'll protect you. Oh my gosh. You heard the man. Now that is true love, young lady. Oh, Finny, please. Gag, those who really are making me ill. I bet for decidedly different reasons. I left my seat for just a moment, and that's when it happened. Then how did you meet in the reading room? How long were you gone? I've already answered all these questions for the police, but if you must know, maybe 10 or 20 minutes? And where were you during that stretch of time? Using the toilet? What are you saying, Miss Fay? Toilet, my perfect little Dolly doesn't poop. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry to say this, Phoenix, but girls do in fact poop. I'm sorry. You heard the defendant, Miss Fay. Better luck next time. Oh, Finny, please. The police have already looked into this whole matter. This line of questioning is nothing but a waste of the court's time. Objection sustained. Miss Hawthorne, please continue with your testimony. How? From what I heard... But seriously, how is this stuff isn't in the... Oh well. About how much liquid is 2 teaspoons? Well, let me see. My bottle of eyedroppers says it's 1/2 fluid ounce, which is equal to 3 teaspoons. So it's about 2/3 that amount, huh? Poison was found in a lawyer's mug of coffee. Must have been after he left the table. Someone must have quietly slipped it in there. Not only that, I heard it was a very special kind of poison. A special kind of poison? How so? Well, I heard that it's almost impossible to detect. Oh, and where would something like that come from? I'm sorry, all I know is what I overheard the policeman saying. They said something about using advanced chemical processes to purify it. Chemical processes? Well, that's quite impressive. Most impressive. The better question is, how did the criminal get something like that? So you see, I'm innocent. I wouldn't even know where to get a poison like that. And that's the reason they didn't arrest you? Because no one could show how you could have gotten the poison? I think that's good enough reason, Madame Fay. She's right, and I think we've had enough of Miss Fay's questions. Never arrested for the crimes because no one could show her how she could have tamed the poison. And all we have to do is find a way to establish how she got in some, right? Well, you said it had to be lots of chemical processes, which is perfect for a pharmacology student to get. Let's present her boyfriend. You wouldn't know how to get that kind of poison? I don't believe you. What? In fact, you got an easy access to that kind of poison, didn't you? At your boyfriend's lab. Boyfriend? You mean the victim, Doug Swallow? That's right. Up until 8 months ago, Miss Hawthorne was dating Mr. Swallow. And if you recall, Mr. Swallow was a pharmacology student at Ivy University. But pharmacology? His laboratory contained highly advanced chemistry equipment. In fact, without such equipment, the culprit could never have attained such a rare and special poison. Well, Miss Hawthorne, it seems you had access to such a poison after all. And then it was a matter of slipping it into the victim's coffee when he wasn't looking. The only person who could have done that was the one sitting at his very table. You. Interesting. Order, order, order. Could it be? That's nothing but a baseless May I say something, Madame Faye? What is it, Miss Hawthorne? The amount of poison in the coffee was 2 tablespoons, correct? In order to carry that much liquid, you would need some kind of container. Well, yes, that's true. I was searched immediately after the incident took place. Quite true. In fact, the entire courthouse was turned upside down. But they didn't find a suspicious container anywhere, did they? Because you hid it. She's right, they even mentioned that in the report. Well, you could have easily gotten rid of something that small. Excuse me, madam, but this is a court of law. You're saying I threw the poison container away. I think you would need to show some kind of proof. Proof? She got me good with that one. I have proof. Provide some evidence or I have to disallow this line of questioning this day. Unless we can come up with some evidence, we're going to lose this lead. The police conducted a full body search of Delilah and the entire courthouse. And yet the container holding the poison disappeared right after the crime occurred. If you're going to accuse the young lady of committing the murder, then where is the container the poison was carried in? What happened to it? She gave it to Phoenix. You were forced to get rid of the container in a hurry, weren't you? And that's why you passed it on to someone that had nothing to do with the case. Someone that you knew wouldn't be searched. Who is this person? Mr. Phoenix Wright, of course. So the defendant was this witness's accomplice? Of course not. She gave the poison to him disguised as a present. But what? But that's... That's a charming little necklace. Is this a little bottle? It's really quite cute. So what about it? What does it mean, Miss Faye? The day the witness met and fell for Mr. Phoenix Wright was 8 months ago, August 27th, the very same day as the poisoning incident. Under the pretense of love, the witness gave my client a present. Always a present. All for the purpose of hiding the one piece of evidence that would give her away. What? Are you saying there's a deadly poison in here? No, there's no longer any poison in that bottle. However, I'm certain if the crime lab were to analyze it, they would find a trace amount. Ooh, now her umbrella flipped inside out. Perfect. Order in the court. Phoenix, be quiet. On behalf of Dolly, I object. Mr. Wright, control yourself. I won't let you bully her like this. Mr. Wright, thought I told you to stay in your seat. Mr. Wright, why? Why are you going through so much trouble to protect her? Why? Because I'm madly in love with her. Madly in love? I haven't heard anyone say that in a long time. Mr. Wright, have you ever thought about this? Why exactly would a woman like Delilah Hawthorne want to date you anyway? Well, guess she must be madly in love with me too. Mr. Wright, please, open your eyes. At this point in the trial, I think it should be obvious to everyone. The real reason that Delilah Hawthorne is dating you is... because of that necklace or to keep you quiet. I'm gonna go with that necklace. Delilah Hawthorne was not and is not madly in love with you. The only thing she's after is that bottled necklace you love to wear around your neck. My necklace? Back there in the waiting room, you said it yourself. Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. What a strange girl, asking for a present back like that. For Delilah Hawthorne, that necklace is irrefutable evidence of her crime. That's why she absolutely had to get it back. You're lying. but you never gave it back to her. And to make things worse for her, you insisted on showing it to everyone you met. That's why she... I don't believe you. That's a lie. Is he really just gonna cry anymore? I think so. Mia, are you alright? The defendant, he's getting away. Bailiff, hurry, after him. Mia, are you alright? Yes, I think so. That boy, he went completely insane. Where's Mr. Wright? Looks like the bailiff caught him, so he should be back soon enough. Thank goodness. Oh no. What is it? The bottle necklace. Miss Hawthorne's present? It's gone. What? That's terrible. Mr. Wright must have grabbed it when he slammed into me. Foolish boy. That's the only thing that could have saved him. What in the blazes are we supposed to do now? Mr. Wright, this sort of behavior is unprecedented in the history of this court. I'm sorry. I'm afraid that your apology is not enough. Mr. Wright, what did you do with the bottle necklace? Forgive me, I'm sorry. He broke it. It's okay, just give back the necklace. I ate it. You what? You ate it? It was too big to swallow, so I had to chew it into little bits first. But yeah. Ugh. What the? What is he doing now? Your Honor, you've got to stop the trial. Mr. Wright, are you feeling okay? Does your stomach hurt? That bottle you swallowed may have some poison left in it. He might actually be dying and you're laughing. It seems the defendant has proven the prosecution's case for us. Clearly that bottle did not contain deadly poison. But how can you be so sure? I think that's obvious. As you can see, the defendant is still very much alive. Well, you needed a certain amount. As for the poison, more like fledgling defense attorney's overactive imagination. So it would seem. No, there must be some mistake. The bottle must not have had any poison left in it. Either that or the poison must have lost its potency. There. It's all right, rookie. Trusting your client is the most noble thing a defense attorney can do. And it's heartwarming to see that you place this much faith in Mr. Wright. But that's how it is for us on the prosecution side, too. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life, which is why I can state that your assessment of her is completely wrong. That's enough. Unfortunately, Miss Fay, I cannot accept your explanation of the events. But why? This may be impossible for a beginner like you to understand. But in a court of law, evidence is everything. We had evidence, but Phoenix was being an idiot. Even after I proved so much, is she going to get away with everything? Well, now the suspicion surrounding Miss Hawthorne has cleared up. I'd like to proceed with the trial. Mr. Wright? I'm sorry, Miss Fay. It's totally slipped my mind. I'm really, really sorry. I know you believed in me, and I feel like I really let you down. Mr. Wright, what are you trying to say? There's something I forgot to tell you. What is it? That day, the day I met Doug Swallow. That girl, you shouldn't see her anymore. Hey, it's none of your business. I'm telling you for your sake, if you continue to see her, it's going to be bad news. You're lying. Just listen to me. There's something you need to know about that girl. Last night, someone stole some poison from our lab. Poison? The same thing happened 8 months ago. A drug sample was stolen. She came to the lab that time, too. It could only have been her. That girl is a thief. Stop it. Don't talk about her like that. Which means she was about to poison him, too. Is it true? Did he really say that? That's ridiculous. There's one more thing. After I pushed him that day, I got worried and came back to have a look. And she was there. Dolly was right there. She was crouched down next to him. What? She told me not to ever tell anyone about it, but I'm sorry, Dolly. Your Honor, the defendant is Miss Faye. You tell them. Dolly didn't do it. She's innocent. So Delilah stole poison 8 months ago too, huh? You put that together with Mr. Wright's testimony, and there's only one possible conclusion. The defense believes that Miss Delilah Hawthorne stole some poison on the night before she killed Doug Swallow. The night before? Naturally, her motive for stealing it was to kill someone. Miss Faye? If you're so certain of your theory, then let me ask you this. Mia, this is your last chance. Think carefully now. There's something that she desperately wanted to get back, therefore. Exactly who was Miss Delilah planning on killing? Phoenix. She needed the necklace back. There was one person that was standing squarely in Miss Delilah Hawthorne's way, and that person was Mr. Phoenix Wright. Me? That's preposterous. After all, it was Doug Swallow that was murdered. Well, it's true that that's how things worked out. But let's remember that Mr. Swallow died of electrocution, not poison. The person that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison was in fact you, Phoenix Wright. There's no one else it could be. But how can that be? I thought Mr. Wright and Miss Hawthorne were in love. Poor Mr. Wright, this must be killing him. Hang in there. I'll bring her to justice, I swear it. As I said before, the only thing Miss Hawthorne truly cared about was the one piece of evidence linking her to that incident 8 months ago. That's right, the bottle necklace. That's what she cared about. But even so, why? Why would she go so far as to murder him? 8 months ago, just after the fall of that attorney in the basement cafeteria. Delilah Hawthorne could think of only one thing. How to get rid of the bottle necklace as quickly as possible. No, it can't be. It was a pretty good move she made too. The evidence was missing for a long time. But there was just one big problem. Although she got him to hide the evidence, Mr. Wright refused to return it to her. To him, the tiny little bottle was a cherished treasure. He even showed it to everyone he met. You mean, that's why she tried to kill Mr. Wright? Correct, Your Honor. It was to retrieve that piece of evidence. That can't be true. But it is, dude. Sorry. Finny, what a joke you are. We get her true colors. Honestly, how can any woman ever count on you for anything? I even told you time and time again to keep your trap shut about me and that necklace. You disgust me. Miss Hawthorne, it appears that we're nearing the end of this trial. Fine, I can tell you plan on making me into a criminal no matter what I say. You are a criminal, Miss Hawthorne. We'll see about that. But first, where's your evidence? It seems your sniveling little crybaby of a client has eaten the bottle as a snack. Well, hey, old man, are you senile or something? Why don't you say something instead of sitting there with that dumb look on your face? Miss Hawthorne, what happened to you? Are you really that shocked? Or do you prefer me this way, Mr. Judge? With absolutely no proof, you treat a voluntary witness like she's a mass murderer. Well, I have nothing more to say. I'll be heading home now if you don't mind. But we're not finished. Fine, then ask this nasty old hag to finish up already. I can't let her get away this time. Stop, Mia. You keep on pushing without any evidence. You could pay the ultimate price as a lawyer. The ultimate price? You'd be forced to take off your attorney's badge forever, I'm afraid. No. You'd better think it over carefully, Miss Fay. Or should I say, Miss Gray. What? Well, Miss Fay, can you provide evidence that would establish her guilt once and for all? If I mess up here, my career as a lawyer is over. But to be honest, at this point I don't have any evidence that's well-founded. Even so, rather lose my attorney's badge than let her get away with murder. Your Honor, the defense would like to present proof. Impossible. You can't possibly... Stupid woman. Okay, I'm going to save real quick because I have no clue where this is about to head. It is the opinion of the court that there has already been enough discussion. Therefore, I will allow only one piece of evidence to be presented. Just one? If you're unable to establish her guilt, then I'm afraid that a very harsh verdict will immediately be handed on Mr. Wright. I understand, Your Honor. I can just imagine the headlines for tomorrow's paper. Up-and-coming lawyer plummets to earth before she gets the chance to soar. She was planning to poison Mr. Wright. If that's the case, then the poison was probably in there. Probably in the Cold-X bottle. Well then, Miss Fay, please present your evidence. Show this court irrefutable proof that Miss Hawthorne was planning to poison Mr. Wright. Here it is, Your Honor. The evidence that will prove her guilt once and for all. Cold Killer X, Phoenix Wright's beloved cold medicine. He. Does our rookie defense attorney have a bit of a cold? If I did, I still wouldn't take this cold medicine. After all, it's been poisoned. What? Remember what the defendant said in his testimony? But I lost my bottle of it around lunchtime on the day of the accident. I always eat with Dolly, just the two of us. She was the one who took his bottle of Cold Killer X. Then she poisoned it, knowing that Mr. Wright was going to take some. Now you're really grasping at straws. After all, it was the victim, Doug Swallow, that was holding the medicine. Yeah, how did he get the medicine, other than Dolly standing beside him, dude? I would like the court to recall the crime that happened here 8 months ago. Where did Miss Hawthorne hide the evidence? Huh? What are you talking about? 8 months ago, the poison was hidden in her bottle necklace, which she then gave to someone else for safekeeping. Someone she had accidentally run into the reading room, my client, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Yes, that's right. She did the same thing this time as well. After shoving the victim, Mr. Phoenix Wright left the scene of the crime. That is when the murderer, Delilah Hawthorne, appeared. With her, she was carrying the poisoned bottle of Cold Killer X. This, of course, was so she could carry out her plan to murder Mr. Wright. I believe she did testify that she was going to meet with the defendant. Yes, and she heard and saw everything that happened at the scene of the crime, including what the defendant and victim were arguing about, and the cut electrical cable. That's when she realized, I can't allow Doug Swallow to live. She used the severed electrical cable to silence him forever. Unfortunately for her, this is when the problem occurred. Mr. Wright, who she thought had left the scene, came back to check on the victim. And on top of that, because of the power outage, some students showed up as well. It's hardly any wonder that she was, as she put it, in a state of panic. Recall that she was carrying the bottle of poisoned cold medicine. She must have thought, what if they searched me like they did 8 months ago? 8 months ago? Yes, she disposed of the evidence exactly the same way she did back then. She had someone else hold it. In this case, Doug Swallow. Is she finally going to admit it? Oh, come on now, everyone. Surely you aren't fooled, are you? The stupid woman, she's nothing but a filthy, stinking liar. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? Huh? Yes, that's exactly right. She has pure desperation. I wonder which one of us is the desperate one. So, Miss Hawthorne, this cold medicine, I wonder if you wouldn't mind taking some. Well, Mr. Wright ate that necklace of yours, right? Now it's your turn to prove your innocence. What do you say? If I'm just a filthy, stinking liar, then there's no need to worry. So come on, show us. I dare you to take some of this medicine right now. Mia Fey. Oh, the butterflies did die. Don't you think you've won? Well, do you, Mia Fey? That's just fine. For the time being, victory is yours. For the time being. Well, I have a very long memory, you know. You and I will meet again. I'm certain of it. Well then, Mr. Judge, I'll see you later too, okay? Huh? Yes? Going to spend a little quality time with the men in blue now. I wish you all the best. Wait, she didn't plan Mia's murder in the first game, did she? Ooh, it's finally all over. I refuse to accept this. The defense hasn't shown a scrap of evidence to support their outrageous claim. But even so, your witness seems to have accepted it. I don't care. I'm Winston Payne. I don't believe one word this rookie lawyer has said. Well then, Mr. Payne, let me ask you this. Yes? Would you care to try this cold medicine? What? Just a little earlier, I could have sworn you said... There. It's alright, rookie. For example, I would trust the witness, Miss Hawthorne, with my very life. So, if she's so trustworthy, then I'm sure there couldn't possibly be any poison in here, right? You see, yes. And here comes the backpedal. Come on now, rookie killer. Show this rookie how it's done. How much trust do you really have for this woman? Are you willing to bet your life? Just say no, dude. My hair, my beautiful hair. Oh, is this how he lost his hair? That's interesting. Well, to be fair, your original haircut was really stupid, dude. You look better this way. Mr. Payne, about Miss Delilah Hawthorne. Yes, Your Honor, I'll file papers for her immediate arrest. Tragic, but not surprising. I knew there was something suspicious about her from the very beginning. Don't lie, just admit you were wrong. By the way, Miss Fey. Yes, Your Honor? It was just me, or did you and Miss Delilah seem to know each other? Your Honor, whether we did or not has no bearing on this case. Very well. Mr. Payne? This can't be happening. It's a nightmare. It's like losing to my daughter. It appears Mr. Payne has lost his spirit along with his hair. Does the defendant have anything further to say? It can't be true. My dear... Dolly. Very well then. I believe I'm ready to pass judgment and bring this trial to an end. The court finds the defendant, Phoenix Wright, not guilty. Woo. So I'm actually like really surprised that my theory on how everything worked was correct. I'm usually not that spot on so quickly, so that's really surprising. This court is adjourned. Mia, you were wonderful in there. Thank you for everything, Mr. Grossberg. During the verdict, I thought my hemorrhoids were going to explode like Mount Vesuvius. That's the Pompeii mountain, right? Mr. Grossberg, do you, maybe think you could stop talking about them? That's rather rude. Anyway, this case really made me think. What does it really mean to have a relationship of mutual trust with the client? Perhaps it is we veteran lawyers who have lost sight of this. Oh, Mr. Wright, congratulations. Thanks. You know, I was thinking. Go on. The dolly I saw up there on the witness stand. I don't think that was really her. Oh no. What? Yeah, the dolly I know could never have said those kinds of terrible things. Maybe she was like, I don't know, a fake or something. Boy, this poor kid still hasn't got a clue. You need to forget about her, Mr. Wright, for your own sake. Yeah, you're right. It's probably for the best. Also, you need to relax a bit more. Try to grow up a little. But out of all my friends, everyone says I'm the most grown up. Eek, what kind of company does this guy keep? Well, there's Larry Butts. Right now, I am studying to become a lawyer myself. That's what you keep saying. But I thought you were in the art department. Well, yeah, I am. But there's a friend that I desperately want to help. And if I hurry, then I should be able to save him in time. I see. Say, Miss Faye, a lawyer is someone who can help people when they're in trouble, right? Mr. Wright, I'm still new at this myself, but I think that's exactly what a lawyer is. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to study my butt off. I'll become a lawyer for sure. I hope. I hope we see each other again someday. Maybe even in court. That's adorable. It's been 5 years since I was acquitted of all charges. Became a lawyer like I planned and managed to save my friend. But Mia has passed on to a better place. For me, this trial brings up a lot of painful memories. But it also brings up some very precious ones. And memories that I thought would never rise to the surface again. Mia is gone now, but even so, I can hear her in my mind. Phoenix, no matter what, always believe in your client. In a court of law, your greatest weapon is your belief. Well, she also possesses her sister and, cousins, so you do hear from her from time to time. 5 long years. Something has happened that made me think back to her words of wisdom. But that is a story for another day. Oh, that was really cute, actually. But yeah, I did really enjoy that case. It was very nice. Again, surprised that my prediction was true. But I believe that next time is when we're going to learn about the new prosecutor. The dude with this face mask that was appeared on the front title. I actually know nothing about him other than apparently he's really cool. But we'll see next time. And I will see you guys later. Bye!